So, 2020 has been a bad year. A lot of bad things have happened for people, and that means this is probably not too right. Specifically, the military rates of everything going on with someone's head has been through the roof pretty much, and we've seen rates increasing 20-30% or so across various sources that have seen this. But we want to talk about this leaked document as to why the military is not able to provide mental health care. They first address staffing. It says officer development and promotion related activities for DOTMA, constrained BSc and Nurse Corps mental health officers consume significant time, diverting from the clinical and embedded missions and create tight career windows for doing clinical/embedded work. In simple English, they are so worried or have to be worried about their retention to even try and stay in the Air Force that they have to divert from clinical care to try and make rank. Imagine, in order to make rank, you should not do your job. How crazy does that sound? Well, I'm used to it. I've been in the military for 12 years. That's a very common thing, and it's a cultural thing. I don't know if that's ever going to go away. Air Force military treatment facility jobs pay government service and contractors less than Air Force line-funded embedded positions as well as Army and Navy positions. Although Defense Health Agency is taking over pay scales, which should mitigate those problems pretty much, but they're not going to, by the way, because I don't put my trust anywhere. Why would someone go work for the Air Force if the Navy is going to pay more? And by the way, these jobs are on USA Jobs. You could easily go check that out for some of the different positions that they're going to offer there, and you can easily compare various bases. It's not that hard. If you're not going to pay it, guess what? No one's going to apply. As much as you want to feel good and take care of your troops, not going to happen here. Sorry. The feel good wears off pretty quickly. Administrative tasks consume significant time of Air Force mental health providers and technicians who could otherwise be doing more clinical embedded work. The 2018 Mental Health CBA identified mental health case managers as the number one priority, which was approved by AFMS Resource Council but was unfunded. They just called them out and said, you guys approved that this was like the biggest issue right here, but you guys did nothing about it. There was no money put there to fix our biggest issue. Wow. Our policies and procedures drive our mental health clinicians to own most active duty patients that present to clinic and trigger a one-size-fits-all lengthy intake process and then individual follows up care. That's because it's cheaper to keep them in the military treatment facility rather than send them out, because big political people say, don't push them out. We've already paid for this big fancy hospital and for the people that work in it. Let's funnel as much as we can through there. But guess what? You're going to have less access to care. Then we're going to beat you down. People aren't able to get into their appointments quick enough because you need to have more slots. So what does that mean? People should work longer hours, have more availability, 85% as a whole, and 72 to 93% range depending on the Air Force statistics. I'm not seeing 100% anywhere. The range is 72 to 93%. You're telling me there's not a single place in the entire Air Force that it's not 100%. We haven't gotten it right anywhere. There's not one single facility that has met the expectation of, we need this many spots, we have this many people. This baffles me. But it doesn't, because I've been in the military long enough to know what says on paper what you're supposed to have is never what you have, by the way. Even if we were 100% manned as authorized, we could not provide 100% FTE in clinical care. That means 100% always seeing clinic, that's it. And what does that loop back to? All the administrative stuff that they were talking about prior. By the way, there's more of that coming. Now, they talk about the Air Force active duty people here, and they say that the retention is very difficult. Promotion processes discourage continued clinical care career path. You're telling me that it's pushing you to do administrative tasks. Gosh, Air Force, there's another job. I forget what it's called. I would say a healthcare administrator that could do those jobs and let these people do their jobs and see patients. Wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah, that would be crazy, huh? And actually, I do have to commend the Air Force because they do actually mention that some of their access to care that you are able to get an appointment and see a mental health person is actually quicker than you think. Active duty military have unique barriers to access to care, including 24/7 working hours and changing shift work. That extends the waiting time to practical appointment time. Even when appointments are available, patients can't make them, creating the perception of poor access. My question to leadership at this point is, Why aren't you letting your people go to these appointments? If somebody has one, shouldn't they be able to have the ability and right to go see their military health care provider? But also, this is where I would tell the people that are being seen, notify your chain of command if you're being seen for something. At least that way they are aware and understand you have an appointment. I know you don't want to bring it up, but say I have extenuating circumstances. By the way, the only person that needs to know about your healthcare specifically and where you're going, what it's for, all that, is your commanding officer. That way you know that and you don't have to disclose it to anybody. I promise you. That is the regulation. And going back to the administrative tasks, they note in this report that they have seen an increase in 60% administrative encounters for people, and that they're not actually seeing people that have mental health issues. We've said mental health is important. That's great. Make it a checklist on some arbitrary thing for every package. Somebody wants to go to pararescue jumper school. Someone wants to go here or there. They need to be seen by mental health or have a checklist done. It's great that we're touching base, but it takes away from the people actually treating the people that are actually sick and need health care. Now, I'm going to go to my thoughts of this entire thing, and that's because as we see these constraints that you're seeing within the system, outside the system, there's even more constraints. Obviously, the taxpayer, you guys have afforded money in your taxes, hard-earned, by the way, to pay for how many ships, how many airplanes, and all that. But also this, we've invested in these people. These are your families, your brothers, your sisters, your moms, your dads, your cousins. And we don't want to upset taxpayers by using their money insufficiently. Taxpayers also hate when people are taking their own lives, and there are service members. I will say that if you do have issues, I'm going to leave the hotline up here. You have Military One Source where you can talk to somebody 24 hours a day. You can even chat them. You have other services on base, chaplains, and also other people that you're just friends with if you want. But we obviously have the resources on base as well, just offering that. So that way you never feel like the wait to see the next person is like the end. They can fit you in if you're having a really bad day. And I also want to share my own anecdotal evidence here. If I've had my own mental issues that I've gone through and I've seen somebody and it's changed my trajectory and how I look at my own mind, body, and spirit, please go if you need to. I promise you it might change your life and it might help you out in the future with coping with stress. The military sucks at many times. Not everyone is going to be there all the time to help you out, but at least having some of the tools to make that easier could be the changing factor. I hope this shined a little bit of light into maybe some of the issues that why we have mental health issues in the military, and we're like, we need help, we need more people. Trust me, these high-ranking people are fighting for us, so that's why I commended them. And if you guys do have questions about this or anything else, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.